What do you want to do when you retire? Maybe sit on a park bench and feed the pigeons, or open a bait shop? Would you want to run a world-class drum corps like Monte Mast? Why is he doing that? We'll find out. You've got a field pass. Well, spring means change, and it certainly has been a season of change for the Cavaliers of Rosemont, Illinois. For several months, they engaged in a long, extensive search for an executive director. And after looking at, I think, about 100 candidates, they found that their new executive director, he is Monte Mast. Hi, Monte.
Hi, Dan. How's it going?
It's going very well. It's good to talk to you, my friend. You are familiar to me, and I think your name is familiar to a lot of drum corps fans, staff, instructors. You have a long history with Drum Corps International, dates all the way back to my era, the early 1980s, if I'm correct. I'll ask you about your professional resume in just a moment, but let's talk about your drum corps history, your drum corps background first. Blue Coats, was it?
Correct. I showed up at the Memorial Day camp and took a spot, and they handed me one of these two-valve piston things that I didn't know exactly what I was doing. And I played my F scale 2 octaves, and they said, can you get down to spot 7 on the field? And that's how my drum corps career started.
With the Blue Coats in 1982. You marched 2 years there, is that right?
Yes, I did 2 years. And I was the soprano soloist in 82. And then, unfortunately, the Blue Coats folded for the first time in 1983.
Yeah, they went inactive for a bit there. So did you continue your drum corps career?
Yes. After taking a year off to make pizza so that I could fund my drum corps career, I ended up going to Rockford, Illinois, and spent a year with the Phantom Regiment.
And then you went on to be an instructor, correct?
Yes, I was a member of the brass staff from 1994 to 1996 in Rockford.
But and you did judge, right?
Yes, for quite a few years. I started in 1998, was the first year that I got involved in the judging activity. And the last show I judged, so I judged for 20 years, and the last show I judged was open class prelims in 2017 in Michigan City, Indiana.
You come to the Cavaliers from the Klein Independent School District, which is in the Houston area. Most recently as the director of fine arts for the entire district. But you were a band director in the Klein district before that. You, as director of fine arts, you opened up several high schools. You expanded the curricula. You opened, I believe, more fine arts programs in the middle schools down there. So you're both an educator and an administrator. Seems like maybe the perfect skill set for an executive director of a world-class drum corps.
Well, and I think that's one of the skill sets and why the interest was mutual. From the Cavaliers standpoint, I could fill roles that they needed, and this was just an incredible opportunity for me to continue what I'm doing in kind of a different realm. The Cavaliers are such an iconic group. And to be able to help advance music education, because when you look at the Cavaliers, you see how many of those former marching members are music educators, still being instructors in the pageantry arts, whether it's in the marching band side or the indoor season side or back in the drum corps activity.
Monte, when I think of retirement jobs, I think of maybe running a bait shop or being a greeter at Walmart or, I don't know, running those self-storage places. It's not like your job just got easier when you retired from Klein.
No. Yeah, I kind of joke about retiring and, I'm not ready to go sit on a porch somewhere. And, I want to do something, but I also want to do something and have enough time to really dig in, not just do it for a couple of years, but really dig into something and then be able to help transform that organization and then also enjoy the fruits of that. And not just hey, I'm out of here and hand it off to the next person, but really get in and spend some time with an organization and have a great run with them. And being able to do that specifically with an organization like the Cavaliers, who already has so many of those pieces in place, this is, an opportunity. It's like if you want to be a football coach, there are only 32 jobs in the NFL. There are only 12 positions as executive directors of drum corps that are finalists. There aren't that many of those positions available. And so, this was probably a year sooner than I had planned, but, you just don't pass up an opportunity like this.
All right, let's see if I can sneak this in. What's the Cavaliers 2019 show, Monte?
Well, I'll let our director of marketing and media, Lamar Long, he's got his plan in place to get this announced. There will be a few interesting twists to this year's show. If you kind of know some of the members, you might notice a little bit different, that they've showed up with camp a little bit less clean shaven. And we'll just say that's okay. A hint.
All right.
Tease you that way.
Well, whatever Danny comes up with and your design team, it will be spectacular, I'm sure. We got to talk a little bit about Don Warren, his passing a few days ago, and your predecessor, the founder of the Cavaliers over 70 years ago. I know that you knew him. I knew him. Everybody kind of in the activity at least knew of him or had interactions with Don.
When you look at the responses of the former marching members, it's really incredible to see that legacy that he left, because everybody talks about what he did for them personally. It's not about winning championships. It's not about those other things, but it's the life lessons that he taught to the members. And that's incredible. I mean, if you measure wealth by the relationships and legacy that you leave, Don Warren was one of the richest men in the world when you see how he has impacted people's lives.
Monte, we're going to end this with a feature we're going to do a lot this summer. Chris Weber at DCI doesn't know I'm going to call it this, but it's the Box 5 Deep Dive. It's 5 questions, rapid fire, with a nod to Inside the Actors Studio, that we're just going to throw out, and you give me what's on the top of your mind. All right?
All right.
All right. For Monte Mast, our Box 5 questions are, what's your favorite drum corps show of all time?
I would still have to say 1996 Phantom Regiment.
You were on the staff for that show, right?
Yes, I was.
Question number 2. You're a foodie, Bonnie. What's the best meal you've ever eaten?
Best meal I've ever eaten, I would have to say either a meal that my wife and I had at the French Laundry in California, or a meal that we had in a small restaurant in Beaune, France, La Lune.
Wow. Have you had the Super Dogs there in Chicago yet?
Yes, I have. I'm a big Lou Malnati's fan. So
there you go. Box 5 question number 3. What is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to drum corps or marching music?
I don't know. I think maybe it's just people wanting to tear other groups down because for whatever reason, whatever their reason, why can't we respect every group? Every group has their own thing to offer. We don't need to tear other groups down to make ourselves look better. Hey, let's celebrate that group. They do a great job with that. Maybe that's not what interests you, but still let's reward them for and recognize what they've done.
If you could choose any other profession than the one you've had, what would it be?
I'd probably have to say winemaker.
You're an enophile, aren't you?
Yes. That would be my kind of fantasy job in that sense of, I think that would be so much fun to do.
Just, Monte, off the top of your head, your favorite drum corps memory?
When I marched in Phantom Regiment in 1984, one of the things that I particularly remember about that season was we met with the Santa Clara Vanguard in Denver, and we learned Send in the Clowns, and they learned Elsa's.
Oh.
And we played it at Drums Along the Rockies. Well, lo and behold, later that summer in Brent Crocker's hometown of Ankeny, Iowa,
yes,
we tied. So the crowd in Ankeny, Iowa got to hear both horn lines arced up playing each other's corps songs.
Wow.
So that was kind of a cool experience to have, hear it in kind of a show in the middle of nowhere. This crowd had no idea what was going to occur because of a random tie that just happened to occur during that summer. And I think that was really neat to have two drum corps like that learn each other's corps songs, and that was a big deal.
That is a special memory. I'm glad you shared that with us, Monte. Thank you for being our guest, and good luck with the Cavaliers. We'll talk to you this summer.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
There is much more to this interview, and you can listen via Field Pass, available on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud.